Mine didn't move. She could not. She just wanted the floor to swallow her alive. Then a voice spoke. It was hoarse, incredibly weak, and rasping for air voice. I told those stupid lawyers not to sign that until I was actually gone. Mine's entire body went rigid. The blood in her veins turned to absolute ice. She slowly, fearfully looked up towards the doorway. Her vision blurry with tears. Standing there, leaning heavily against the doorframe, just to keep her from falling over, was Taehyung. But the powerful CEO was gone. He was dangerously thin. His clothes hung loosely off a frail frame. His face was ghostly pale, his cheekbones sharp and dark, sickly shadowing to stain the skin under his eyes. Vine gasped, covering her mouth with her trembling, coffee-stained hands. Man, Taehyung? He offered her a faint, weak smile. He looked exhausted, but his eyes still looked at her with the same exact desperate love. Taehyung breathing heavily. Hi, wifey. I'm sorry. I think my paperwork ruined your strong comeback. His legs finally gave out, his knees buckled, and he started collapse towards the hard floor. As saying knees buckled, the frozen, terrified wife vanished. The brilliant chief surgeon took over. Vine dropped her bag and dove across the floor, catching him before his head hit the floor. He felt like a skeleton in her arms. He was freezing cold, shivering violently against her chest. Fine. Damn, hey, look at me, stay with me. She grabbed his wrist, pressing her fingers to his pulse. It was terrifyingly weak and erratic. Damn, whispering, trying to push her away with trembling hand. Don't, don't look at me like that. I'm ugly now. I just wanted to remember me strong. Wine, tear falling on his pale face. Shut up. You're the most beautiful. She pulled out her phone and immediately dialed her hospital emergency line. 1. This is Chief Surgeon Dr. Kim. I need an ICU. Prepare the isolation ward and page Dr. Han in oncology. Tell him Kim Dehing is alive. The death certificate is fake and I'm bringing him in. She threw the phone aside and pulled Dehing tightly into her arms, rocking him gently. 1. You don't get to leave me. Did you hear me? You don't get to die to prove me love. You are going to live and you are going to spend next 50 years making this up to me. Taeyong smiled weakly, resting his heavy head against her chest, listening to her racing heartbeat before his eyes slowly fluttered shut. 2 hours later, the harsh white fluorescent lights on the hospital burst above. One was pacing outside the ICU. Her scrubs were still stained with coffee, but she refused to leave. The heavy doors opened. Dr. Han, the head of oncology, walked out. He looked exhausted and deeply sorrowful. Vine rushed to him and grabbing his arm. Vine, tell me, give me his charts. What are his white blood cell counts? What is his organ function? Dr. Han, taking off his glasses, rubbing his eyes. Vine, you need to step back. You are not his doctor right now. You are his wife. Madam, both. Tell me, Dr. Han, sighing heavily. His leukemia is in the final, most aggressive stage. His own bone marrow is completely destroyed. His kidneys are starting to fail. We have been searching the global registry for 18 months. Mine, there is no match in the entire world. That's why he stopped treatment. Mine felt her legs go weak, but she stopped, forced herself to stand. Mine, so we do aggressive chemo. We put him on dialysis. Dr. Han, Mine, stop. Dr. Han placed both hands on her shoulder. He looked at her with profound pity. Dr. Han, his body cannot take another round of chemo. He has 1 week at most. We can keep him comfortable, but without a miracle bone marrow transplant, his organ will completely shut down in 7 days. The word echoed in her mind. 1 week, 7 days. Man covered her mouth, a broken sob escaping her lips. She collapsed against the wall, sliding down to the cold floor. The next 4 days were pure hell. The countdown had begun. Day 1, Taehyung woke up surrounded by machines. One was holding his hand, her eyes swollen from crying. He weakly squeezed her fingers. He didn't ask for prognosis. He already knew. Taehyung, did you bring Minjun? Why, not yet. I don't want him to see you with all these tubes. You have to get better first. Taehyung just gave a sad, knowing smile. Day 3, Taehyung was getting weaker. He could barely keep his eyes open. Man sat by his bed, reading medical journals, desperately looking for experimental treatments. Anything. She had not slept in 72 hours. Taehyung, voice barely above a whisper. Wine. Stop reading, please just look at me. She dropped the book and held his face, crying. Taehyung, I'm sorry. I missed 2 years, but Having you here at the end, it's enough. Day 4 night. His breathing was becoming labored. The monitor beeped erratically. Vine laid her head on his chest, terrified that every heartbeat would be his last. The week was running out. He was slipping away. It was the morning of the fifth day, only 2 days left before Dr. Hand predicted total organ failure. Man was staring blankly at the young's pale face. Suddenly, her medical brain snapped. She realized something. She stood up so fast her chair fell backward. She sprinted down the hallway, bursting into Dr. Han's office without knocking. Mine, did you test me? Dr. Han, startled, dropped his pen. What? Why, did you test my blood for the bone marrow registry? Have I cross matched with him? Dr. Han, why, you are his wife, not his sibling. HLA tissue typing is genetic. The chances of non relative random spouse being a match are less than 1 in a million. It's medically astronomical. While slamming her hands on his desk, her eyes blazing with fierce desperation. I don't care. If it's 1 in a billion, I don't care. If it defies every medical textbook, he has 48 hours left to live. Draw my blood right now, or I'll do it myself. Dr. Hanso with absolute terror and determination. Van sat on the floor outside. She had given her blood hours ago. The waiting was absolute torture. She had chewed her fingernails to the quick. Suddenly, the lab doors open flew. Dr. Hand ran out. He wasn't walking, he was sprinting. He held a printout in his hand and he looked like he had just. Dr. Han, whine. One, get up. She scrambled to her feet, her heart pounding in her throat. Dr. Han, breathless, staring at the paper. It's a perfect match. 10 out of 10 HLA markers. You are his exact match. It's medical miracle. Van stopped breathing. The paper slipped from Dr. Han's hand as Van threw her arm around his neck and sobbing with a force that shook her entire body. It was tears of pure unadulterated salvation. Van, prepare the OR. Prepare him for transplant right now. We are saving my husband. Next day, Vine walked into the room, Taehyung's room, wearing a blue hospital gown. The nurses were prepping him for the intense procedure. He was incredibly weak, but when he saw her in the patient gown, confusion crossed his mind. Taehyung, wifey? Why are you wearing that? Are you sick? She sat on the edge of his bed and gently took his frail hand, kissing his knuckles. Vine, I'm not sick. I'm your donor, Taehyung. We are a perfect match. I'm giving you my bone marrow. Taehyung's eyes widened in horror. He knew the procedure. He knew the massive needles they used on the doctor's pelvic bone. He knew the pain. Taehyung, no. No, Vine, absolutely not. It's too painful. It's risky. What if someone happens to you? Minju needs you. He tried to pull his ivy covered arm away, but she held it firmly. Fine, Minju needs his mother, but he also needs a father. And I need my husband. Taehyung started to cry, weak tears rolling down his sunken cheeks. Taehyung, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve you. I made you cry so much. I left you alone. Fine, wiping his tears with her thumbs. Then leave. Take my marrow, get your strength back, and spend the rest of your life making me smile. You owe me 50 years, Kim Taehyung, and I'm collecting it. She leaned down and pressed a deep, passionate kiss to his lips. For the first time in 2 years, Sehum kissed her back, pouring all his desperate hope and endless love into it. 6 months later, sunlight poured into the room. The heart monitor was peeping into a strong, steady, beautiful rhythm. Sitting up in the bed was Sehum. He wasn't frail anymore. His cheek had a healthy pink color. His shoulders were broad again under his soft sweater. The bone marrow transplant was complete success. The cancer was gone. The door opened and Van walked in, wearing her white doctor's coat, carrying a little boy on her lap, on her hip. Minjun, Appa! Minjun wiggled down and ran to the bed. Taehyung laughed a rich, deep, healthy laugh at Vine hadn't heard in years and scooped the boy up, hugging him tightly. Taehyung, hey little monster, did you take care of Mama while I was resting? Minjun, yes, but Mama missed you. She cried. Taehyung looked up at Vine, his dark eyes incredibly soft and full of adoration. Vine blushed, walking over to bed. Vine, he talks too much. Taehyung reached out with his free hand and pulled Vine down her waist. He buried his face into her stomach, breathing in her scent, holding his family together. Taehyung, I'm never leaving again. Not for study, not for work, not for anything. I'm right here. 1 year later night, the messy house was warm and full of life. Minjun was finally asleep upstairs. Vine was standing by the large window, living room window, looking out of the city light. She felt two strong arms wrapped around her waist from behind. A firm, healthy chest pressed against her back. The smell of vanilla cologne filled the air. Tahing rested his chin on her shoulder, pressing a soft, lingering kiss to the sensitive skin of her neck. Tahing, what is brilliant chief surgeon thinking about so deeply? Mine leaning back into his embrace, completely relaxed. I was thinking about how lucky I am and how stubborn my husband is. Tahim chuckled. His voice was deep and vibrating against her skin. He turned her around so she was facing him. He looked perfect. The confident, handsome CEO was fully back, but his eyes held a softness and gratitude that only belonged to her. Tahim, I literally have your cell inside my bones, Dr. Kim. I could not leave you even if I tried. I'm part of you now. He brushed a strand of her hair behind her ear and looked deeply into her eyes. Tahim, thank for saving my life. Thank you for giving me a family and thank you for not giving up on me. Mine. You're welcome, Mr. Kim. Just remember you are on a probation for the rest of your life. Tahim smiled, his beautiful, boxy smile. Tahim, best deal I ever made. He leaned down and captured her lips. It was slow, deep, and desperate kiss that promised forever. There were no more misunderstanding, no more distance, and no more pride. Just a husband and wife, and a love that survived the impossible.